On today's show, we are lucky enough to have an interview with the great Charlotte Bronte.
Thank you, Liam. It's great to be on the show.
How are things going, Charlotte?
Things are going great. I just published Jane Eyre, as you already know, as that is what the interview is about.
Very funny, Charlotte.
Yes, actually, let's dive into that right now, Charlotte.
Of course. Jane Eyre is about a young girl named Jane, who is struggling to grow up in the Victorian era. She's independent, smart, and has no real role in society in this time period.
Yes, of course. We all actually loved the book.
Yes, I found the book to be very interesting and insightful.
Thank you so much, Cameron. That means so much to me.
Anytime.
As a matter of fact, I've heard through the grapevine that Queen Victoria actually loves the book.
She is? I had no idea. It feels great to know that people are enjoying Jane Eyre so much.
Well, you deserve all the credit.
Well, I have seen some connections between you and Jane Eyre, that you were both governesses.
Yes, there are many connections in my life that correlate with Jane Eyre.
Charlotte, if you wouldn't mind, please elaborate on this some more.
Not at all, Scott. Not at all. The story Jane Eyre is somewhat of a spin-off of my life, in fact. I was governess. I attended a school just like Loudwood. Sad story, but I based Helen off of one of my sisters who died of typhus.
Sorry to hear that, Charlotte.
Thanks for the support, guys. I was also raised in a strict Anglican household similar to Mr. Brocklehurst. And Crazy Bertha was influenced by a mad woman locked in a room in a house that I worked at, although it was 60 years prior to when I started working there.
Wow, that is crazy.
Indeed it is.
Charlotte, I was wondering why you decided to write Jane Eyre, or just be a writer in general, since I have heard that you want to be a painter.
Well, I felt my writing would impact society more than my paintings would, and my sisters influenced me to write as well. And I wrote Jane Eyre to show that women are so much more than just a mother in a household role.
If you want the great role for women, then why did you first publish Jane Eyre under the male name Currer Bell?
I decided to publish the book with this name because women authors who published with their real names are not taken seriously in this time period.
Well, as interesting as you are, Charlotte, let's talk about the book Jane Eyre a little bit more.
Sure, what questions do you all have?
Charlotte, what should people be taking away from Jane Eyre?
Well, there are a couple of main things that you should take away from this book. First is that you can overcome anything. Also, there is one for women. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something because you are a woman.
Why were some of the characters included, such as John Reed and Blanche, as they were not in the book very long? I was wondering.
Both John Reed and Blanche were included in the book to provoke Jane and pull out her feelings. John made her angry, while Blanche made her jealous.
That's very interesting, Charlotte.
Why was Jane very plain and not that beautiful and poor?
Jane was created this way to show that looks and social class do not matter to have what you want.
Why did you make Jane hated so much by her aunt?
Jane was made this way to show that despite her past, she can accomplish anything and overcome her hurdles.
I was wondering, why did you make religion so hypocritical?
This was made this way because religion had all the political power and it was politically corrupt.
I've actually always wanted to know if Jane did see her uncle in the Red Room, or if he was just a figment of her imagination.
You know, I sadly have to leave that as yours and the other reader's interpretation.
Ah, Charlotte, why do you always have to do that to me?
Haha, sorry, Leo.
Charlotte, what a jokester.
Do y'all have any other questions to better understand this novel as a whole?
Yes, and a matter of fact, we do. We were wondering the meaning of Jane Eyre's name.
Well, Jane means plain, which is basically a description of her. And Eyre suggests airy-fairy sorts of qualities, which is how Rochester describes her.
Alright, we will now be transitioning to a period where we'll read fan-written letters and them asking quotes. And we'll see Charlotte's interpretation of them. The first letter is from Soham, reading, it's a quote from John, reading, "You have no business to take our books. You are a descendant," Mama says. "You have no money. Your father left you none. You ought to beg and not to live here with gentlemen's children like us." What is your interpretation of this quote, Charlotte?
This just shows how John dislikes Jane very much, and that she is not loved by the Reed family. But this lets Jane as a character develop and become more independent and strong-willed as an individual.
Alright, moving on to the second letter. This letter is from Kayla. This quote says, "I am strangely glad to get back again to you, and wherever you are is my home, only my home." This is from a quote from Jane.
I think this is when Jane's addressing Mr. Rochester, and she's expressing her true feelings for him and how much she loves him, and that all she really wants to do is be with him and not with anyone else.
Very interesting.
This next letter comes to us from Jacob. And it reads from Jane, "I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will." What is your interpretation?
I think Jane is saying that she's an independent woman, and that no man, no money, class level, nothing can hold her back from becoming who she really wants to be. She doesn't deal with all of society's standards. She just breaks through them and does what she wants to do.
Alright, and for our last letter, this letter is from Daniel. It is a quote from Jane. "Do you think because I am poor, obscure, plain, and little, I am soulless and heartless? You think wrong. I have as much soul as you, and full as much heart, and if God had gifted me with some beauty and much wealth, I should have made it as hard for you to leave me as it is now for me to leave you."
This is Jane saying that your actions are what define you, not your social status, your wealth, or who you are in this time period. She's just being who she is and expressing who she is on the inside.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, it was a great interview with Charlotte. It was very interesting to get your perspective on the book and the reasons why you wrote the book. Very great interview.
Thank you, Liam.
Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, you're welcome,
Thank you.
Cameron. Oh, no problem, Scotty P.